You are at the phase of your book project fundraiser of the actual photo sessions. Yay, finally, something that you know and you do every day. But is there something you should know when you're doing a book project during these photo sessions? Yes, there is. So you've gotten all of the organization done, you have the registrations closed, and you're just looking at all these photo sessions you have coming up. There are some things that you need to know to do during those photo sessions for a book project. That's okay, I've got you covered in today's video. Let's go. Oh, hey, if you just found this video, you're gonna wanna make sure that you watch all the videos in this playlist, kind of Netflix, Petflix style, organized for you here. Every phase of the project is covered in the playlist. So the next part here is what you should do during your sessions. Now for me, I ran the sessions, once I registered for the book, everything else ran the same. So we had the planning meeting. I sent out all of my regular emails about session confirmation, sales meeting, delivery, all of those kind of things. If you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, if you're part of the Community Center, the ProPetPhotog Members Community Center, we had a whole class on the client journey. So if you're part of that membership, you can get into there anytime that you want, and you could look at that. We talk about all the different emails and the steps that your clients have to go through. So it was exactly the same for the book. Once they registered, everything was the same. As you photograph pets, make a separate folder somewhere or a separate collection of images you're considering for the book cover. Now my book cover is a landscape and I needed room for the title. As we're at the end of the whole thing, I was trying to pull in photos that I thought would be good for the cover. Just do that as you go. If you just made a collection that was book cover ideas, that would make it so much easier. Track everything. So this is kind of back to those spreadsheets that you're gonna make, track it all. So I found at the end, I was making even more spreadsheets. So it would be like, these are the people's names, this is how many books they ordered, and this is whether or not they picked them up. Many people picked them up at my book launch party, but there were a lot of people who needed to pick them up later, and I wanted to keep track of that. You'll want to make a spreadsheet or a column for every part of this, because later you're gonna go, wait, what did I say? What happened over here? So make sure that you have really good file management, and that actually goes all the way into the design phase, which we'll talk about later. Again, during this, I wish I'd involved the rescues more. Like if they could have said, woohoo, you know, shared one of my posts, something like that a little bit more. They were really great. They did during the registration for sure, but I just forgot to ask them to continue with the hype throughout. I think I would have had more actual physical book sales if I had. For me, I recorded video at every session. I just stuck my GoPro on the top of my camera, there's a hot shoe mount, and I recorded snippets of every single session. And this was so fun to use on social media later. Like, oh, look at how much fun we had on this. And you've probably seen some of those sessions here on this channel from last summer. I created a bunch of tutorials for you from those videos with permission from the client, but really try to get some kind of video snippets for all of these. They'll really help with the hype, which reminds me, I should probably take all those and make them into a marketing piece for this year's book. I meant to do that. Take extra photos. So what you'll find is when you're laying out the book, there's these pages that look kind of blank. Maybe they're a title page. This is, you know, you're just going to talk about, maybe this is the area of town you were in. There's usually just some kind of an opening page, or maybe your table of contents, you want a faded picture in the background. Take extra photos. So if you're over on location, before the client gets there, get a nice landscape picture of that location. Get maybe or close-ups or whatever else. Get extra pictures while you're at that location. Absolutely, you are going to want those in the final design of the book. So definitely do that. I had to really remind myself of that every single time. And that leads me into my next point is I had Frank with me at all of these. Frank is my assistant at sessions, and you don't have to go to that expense, but Frank was really good because we had so many sessions all at once that he helped me keep track of things like that. I'd say, Frank, help me remember to take an overall picture of this location, because maybe that is going to be the picture I use in that part of the book just to talk about that part of town. If that's in your budget, I highly recommend that you have someone come with you at these sessions. And he also got some behind the scenes. So sometimes I would hand him my phone and say, could you please film some of this for me, of me taking a picture of this, whatever ridiculous was happening. One in particular, I was laying on some rocks next to the water, and there was an old dog on a paddleboard. And so I was like, Frank, this is so unusual. Could you please get some footage for me just with my phone? So he was there to do that, which was really amazing. Manage your files really well as you go through each session and you do your regular sales meetings, things like that. Set aside pictures or tag them somehow for the pictures you're going to use in the book. And even from there, what I would do this time is export those into my Google folder. The high-res pictures I want to use because I'm working with a designer, and so they'll have a chance to have those right away. So we'll get to that in a second too. But during the sessions, just really make sure you don't fall down on that organization. Organize, organize, organize. You are all set to go forth with your photo sessions for your book project, but the next step is taking all those photos and designing the actual book. And there is a lot that goes into that, and this can be kind of the mystery phase of this whole project, but that's okay. I've got you covered in the next video all about the design phase. So go check it out right here.